Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another action-packed show. As in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing the topic of mourning the former self. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And later on in the show, we have a sneaky peek into this week's forecast reading. So without further ado, let's dive deep. As I say, we're going to be discussing the topic of mourning the former self. So what am I talking about by using that statement? Well, I'm talking about that we all change in every single moment, in every single second, in every single day. And it is in my experience and belief that we evolve, we change, we expand. And with this being the case, sometimes there is a degree of sadness that is attached to that, albeit untreated or left to fester within inside our internal and emotional body. And we store this within us, within ourselves, as we keep calm and we carry on. And in many respects, we find ourselves keeping ourselves busy so that we're initially avoiding confronting these emotions that we've let fester and build up inside of ourselves. Interesting, isn't it? I find this topic very interesting. So this is what we're talking about today. I want to say that on some level, you know that you're avoiding doing some sort of reflection work. And this is why you're keeping yourself busy, saying, I haven't got time, haven't got the money, haven't got this, haven't got that, all of these excuses. And I'm not pointing the finger of blame at anybody by making this statement. We've all been there, myself included. And this is why I'm coming on here today to share this experience and hopefully help you to go within and find that sense of self and peace. So, with this being said, your soul is craving for some time out. And you know it, you feel agitated, you feel like a pressure cooker building up, and you don't know why. You just know on some level that something's got to give in any time soon. A breakdown to build up again, maybe look at it that way. You don't necessarily have to go right to the edge of breakdown. However, you will be aware of the signs, feeling agitated, getting a little bit angry, having no patience for anything or anyone, including yourself. And all these signs will be around you. And for some of you, it may be frustrating, confusing, and you're not aware what's really going on. It is in my experience and my belief that this is your soul calling you to mourn the former self, the former version of you. As I say, we change in every single moment, in every single day. With that being said, if we don't grieve or respect that former self, then we're carrying those emotions, those unhealed emotions around with us. And if left untreated, this could lead to all manner of distortions within your timeline in your life. So your body, your soul, should I say, already knows it's craving for some time out. What we're going to do in this time out? Well, I would suggest that your soul is craving some time to reflect upon those former versions of yourself. And we can go way back when we were children. We can go back 2 years ago. We can go back on any former timeline in order to go through this process and reflect and actually process those life events, those experiences that we've gone through, that most of us that are listening to this have gone through these experiences, and we've kept calm and we've carried on. And a lot of us have that mentality, we'll be all right. Come on, let's do this instead. And we keep on moving forward. And in many respects, that is really, really, really powerful stuff in itself, not letting things bog you down and keep you stagnant and still. That is great. I applaud that. But on somewhere on your path, you are going to have to face some of those emotional traumas and experiences that you've been avoiding. And so allowing yourself to process those events and feel into them, feel into the emotions that you felt at that moment in time when you were going through those points in your life that you didn't have time or you avoided facing those emotions. Well, now is the time to face into them and process them, why you were feeling that way, why you went through that experience, how you was as a person during that time in your life. And let's face it, a lot of us, we're riding by the seat of our pants in every situation. So we're only using the tools, what we have, what we've learned throughout our life in each and every moment in order to face things or move through them. So don't be bad on yourself. Don't pull yourself down because you were only working, like I say, with the tools that you had at that moment in time. And obviously, throughout the course of your life, you evolve, you change, you grow. You're not that person anymore, so you will see things differently. And this is why your soul is craving for that time to reflect, to process those events, so that you can heal them, you can reframe them, you can let them go, so that energy is no longer stuck, attached to you anymore. And this can be a very beautiful process when you allow yourself to go through it, but you have to make that decision nevertheless. And what you will find is that you'll be reminiscing of times gone by, and there'll be some laughter, there'll be some fun, there'll be some high emotions there. There will be some obviously dark periods. It depends on your perception, because as we know, in every stumbling block in life, there's always something to extract from it, from a positive perspective. So allow yourself to go through this process and start and accept what happened with fondness. Accept it. Don't be in denial. When you accept it, this is you maturing, this is you evolving and moving through that situation, allowing yourself to process it properly. And as a result of that, you will start to heal, as I say, and some of those old emotional attachments will be released from you because you've done that inner work. Healing begins when you surrender and trust. Now, it's so easy to say, isn't it, as opposed to do, but surrendering, in my experience, is resisting the urge to control a situation or a set of emotions or circumstances. And so when you're just there observing, allowing, surrendering, this is when that trust will come in, and this is when healing can occur. because otherwise you're blocking that flow of healing. You're blocking that flow through your soul, through your physical body, and the experiences that you've had. They've all been orchestrated in your life for a specific reason. So bear that in mind when you're processing, reflecting on memories, and maybe reframing. What is reframing? Reframing is going back to certain events in your life, emotions, and extracting the goodness from them. Whereas at the time when you was going through them, you either were very resentful, angry, frustrated, or you just simply ignored them. Well, reframing is going back to those circumstances and looking at them and experiencing them from a higher perspective. From all of the lessons that you've learned throughout your life, you've gained more tools in your toolbox to be able to process, analyze, and release some of these stumbling blocks that maybe you've been aware of, maybe you haven't. But nevertheless, healing does start to begin when you surrender that urge to control situations, people, emotions, or events. A lot easier, as I say, to say rather than do. But only you can decide whether you're going to go through that process. Nobody's going to do this work for you. Only you can do it. Also, just to remind you that you are not that person anymore. And we've all had changes in our personality. And this is usually down to a reflection of the events that we were going through, what we were going through internally, and also the way that we either reacted or did nothing in that circumstance. But you're not that person anymore, so don't feel bad. You've evolved, and you will continue to evolve. So trust the process. And let's face it, if we didn't expand and evolve, the world would just be treading water, wouldn't it? There'd be no inventions. There would be no new music or media or correspondence. It would all be very, very samey. So it is a beautiful thing to evolve and expand. And sometimes when we're dealing with life and we feel like we're treading water, like we're not getting anywhere, this is also, I would say, a little bit of a hint to let you know, actually, you need to go within and you need to reframe the way that you're looking at things. Or you need to reframe the way that you've gone through things in your life. Maybe you're holding a set of belief systems that is keeping you stuck, treading water where you happen to be at this present moment in time. It's so easy to point the finger and blame everybody around you, your set of circumstances, isn't it? But in actual fact, you would benefit more, as I say, by going within and reflecting on events in your life, the way that you process them, the emotions that you were carrying at that moment in time. And by doing that, this is where growth can occur and flow can be reinstated into your timeline, into your life. I'd like to say also, in order to do this, one of the greatest things and one of the greatest lessons is to get out of your head. And I'm not suggesting for a minute that you take substances or anything like that or avoid situations or circumstances. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that you, instead of listening to your mind as a governing resource of information, it's a processing tool, basically. Go into your heart, feel into life, feel into situations. You'll know when something hits right with you because you'll feel that harmonic resonance within your heart. You'll feel that yearning, that desire, that calling. You will feel it in your heart. And we've all been there where everybody's around us and we're telling them what we're thinking of doing. And when we tell them what we're going to be up to, they're telling us, oh no, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? And really, you haven't, because you're trusting that calling in your heart. You feel that magnetic pull and you're trusting it. So that's what I'm talking about. Embrace the wisdom of your heart and listen to its guidance. What do I mean by listen to its guidance? Is it speaking to you? Your heart is always speaking to you, but it's a different form of communication. It's a feeling. It's a vibration. It's a yearning, as I say. We've all also experienced on here that sinking feeling we get in our heart, whether something's gone bad or maybe we forgot to do something. We've all experienced that in our heart. Again, that is a form of communication and a wisdom. So listen to those feelings. And in my experience, when I've had those feelings regarding circumstances, people, or situations, then immediately after feeling that emotion, that strong calling in my heart, I will then get a picture forming in my mind, in my third eye. A little bit like daydreaming. Most of you listening will have done that at some point in your life, where you get this idea and you start to daydream on it. Well, it works in a similar principle in my experience. So you get that yearning, that calling in the heart, that desire, that burning. And then for me, I start to see images in the form of a daydream. And I just allow myself to experience those daydreams. And I try to stay mindful of all the information, what's being shown to me in that daydream. And I'm also observant of how the visions that I'm seeing is making me feel. Again, listening to the wisdom of the heart by listening to those emotions. And if it is aligning, if it is bringing me excitement and enthusiasm and drive and that get up and go, then it is up to me at that point to make the decision to go with it and take it further and bring whatever it is, whatever decision, whatever choice, into my reality by putting it into action, by making that first step in order to facilitate change. And you see, that is the greatest catalyst. Listening and embracing all starts from the wisdom of the heart. I say this because it is so easy, and most of us have been programmed on some level in our lives to actually rationalize things in our mind and play things off against one another in our mind. And this can formulate a vast amount of anxiety within ourselves, to the point where we're not trusting ourselves, we're not trusting our decisions, because there's that element of doubt, that little green-eyed monster on the other shoulder, shall we call it that is jabbering to us, that chatter in the mind, trying to pull us off and stop us from moving forward and embracing change and opportunities. So this is why I'm encouraging you all to feel into a situation and then allow those daydreams, those visions to formulate in your mind, in your third eye. And whilst you're doing that, again, observe the way that they're making you feel. This, what I'm describing to you, I've had this occur in a lot of situations in my life. I recall having my studio, my big studio in my previous property. That was just an old shed originally, but I didn't see it as an old shed. I envisaged, and I felt it in my heart, that there would be a fully functional recording studio there. And I was visualizing it. I was getting excited. And then I started to put some plans, some drawings down. Then I wasn't thinking about the finances. I didn't know where it was going to come from, but I just knew that it would happen. And lo and behold, it became a reality. And we had the old shed removed. And we had an architect come in and survey the land, and then make the necessary plans in order to build that studio. And from then on in, we employed a builder to build the studio, and it all started to fall into place. And that initially came from that feeling, that yearning, that wisdom of the heart, which then led me down the path of daydreaming and me feeling that excitement and then taking that chance. And then the funding, the finances all came in at the right time. So it's amazing what you can achieve when you listen and feel into the wisdom of your heart. Something else I'd like to recommend for you all, and this is something that a lot of us don't do: being present, being here now. A lot of us spend quite a lot of time in our heads thinking about what was, what may be, what could be, instead of just appreciating where you're at right here, right now. A lot of you listening to this, and myself included, I've been through this many times, and this is where I'll give you an example. Long ago, when I went through a divorce and became a single dad for the first time, it was very daunting. And a lot of that time, although I was taking my girls out and doing this, that, and the other, and making time for them and making sure that they was happy and cared for, that was my priority, obviously. I wasn't happy. I was running over the things in my mind, and I was just relaying these things. And there were times when people would say to me, oh yeah, do you want to go to that? And I would respond, what do you mean go to that? We've just told you. We've just been telling you about it. It's next Friday or next Saturday. I've just been telling you about it. Did you? I never heard you. I was there in body, but I was there in my mind, again, tussling over these decisions and all the information that was rattling around my mind that I had to process to go through that situation. So I would say, with me saying this, I would encourage you to be here now, to be present and embrace and enjoy every single moment in your timeline, in your life. But with me saying that, you do need to set some time aside so that you can reminisce and mourn the old version of yourself. Maybe take out a certain portion of your week, an afternoon, Sunday afternoon, for example, and just have some quiet time with yourself where you can lie on the top of your bed. You're fully awake, but you're allowing these thoughts and these emotions to come up to the surface so that you can process them, you can review them, and you can allow them to be released and let go. With doing this, it is a massive amount of unconditional love that you're giving back to yourself. So don't feel as though that you're wasting your time. In actual fact, you're healing yourself and you're paying it forward through the gift of observation and contrast. What you'll experience is the fact that, yes, I've been through that. It is what it is. It happened. Can't do anything about it now other than reframe it, look at it different, feel into the emotions different. And what would I do now? What do I really want instead of what has happened? So the gift of contrast there is prompting you. You're at a crossroads in your life. It's prompting you to make important decisions, to commit and say, I don't want this. I want this instead. I want something better, something that reflects me, who I am right here, right now, not who I was. That's who I was. I was working with the tools that I had and the knowledge that I had at that moment in time. Not that person anymore. I've evolved. And now I've done the mourning for that former version of myself. And I'm now in a position where I can make a decision and choose something better. And it's that moment, that eureka moment, when you've done that healing, that deep diving, that you start to take more responsibility of who you are and trust the wisdom of your heart and your soul. And it's such a, like I say, eureka moment when you reach that point in your life. It can make life so much easier. You're not resisting the flow state. Instead, you're embracing life with playful curiosity. And this will allow you to go into, as I say, universal flow. You'll start to release that urge to control situations, people, circumstances. And instead, you'll start and say, yes, yes, yes. Very strong words, yes. Obviously, you will choose the word yes based upon the emotions and the wisdom that you're feeling in your heart. And if it brings that joy, if it connects you to the flow state, then you're going to say yes more strongly. If it isn't, then obviously it will be a clear no to you. But more often than not, you will be saying yes to new opportunities because you will know and you will feel on a soul vibrational alignment that these things are to help you progress, grow, and expand, and also add value, not just to your own soul and your own energy, but to the universe. Because as we expand and grow, we're offering up that vibration, whether we realize it or not, to the universe. And this is how collectively we are all expanding and growing and changing. Fascinating subject this, isn't it? So what I would certainly recommend everybody who hasn't done this work, that is listening to this episode, is to maybe look at your diary, look at your calendar and say, actually, I'm holding space for myself on that day. And I'm just going to, like I suggested, lay on the bed, not get in the bed, lay on the bed with my eyes open. And I'm just going to allow myself to reminisce. And when you go into this stage, you'll go back on various pivotal points on your timeline with family, with friends that may be not in your life or experience anymore. So there'll be some emotions attached to that. There'll be a lot of love there, a lot of laughter. And then you'll enable yourself to, I would say, start to see those experiences and feel into those experiences from a different level, from your now moment consciousness, and just allow yourself to drift off, have those visions, allow the emotions to be stirred and come up. You may feel angry, you may feel agitated, frustrated, you may feel happy. You'll have a collective of these emotions that rise up. And with this being said, just be the observer. Do not judge. Do not point the finger of blame. Just allow yourself to experience it. Just like you're watching a film or a TV show and you're just being there, you're experiencing it and you're allowing it to flow. You're allowing the film or the program to flow in front of your eyes with non-judgment. Well, most of us do anyway. This is what I implore you to do. And from that moment onwards, the healing will start to begin. And it is a beautiful time for you because you'll reach quite a lot of eureka moments and you'll start and say to yourself, that's why I went through that. That's why that happened in my life. Now I understand. And at that point, you'll start to, as I say, have thoughts of contrast. I don't want that anymore. That's not me. That's not who I am anymore. I'm not that person. I wouldn't want to do that any longer. And you start to allow yourself to get into the vibration of flow and allow your soul to govern you forward. It's a beautiful experience. Most of you have done this work on a subconscious level, and you've done it relatively quickly. There's a lot of you listening to this out there that are very emotional people. And when you do go through some of these shifts and changes in your life, You allow the emotions to come up to the surface. You may be a person that cries and expresses themselves verbally as well. And that's obviously a form of releasement in itself during the course of that event. But there is a lot of us out there, myself included, this is why I'm talking about this today, is where we internalize things, or we keep busy, we keep calm and we carry on. And that energy stays stuck and stagnant. It's gone nowhere. We haven't released it. And so this process that I'm speaking to you about today is where we take that time and that opportunity to do that clearing house. And you'll be so grateful that you have done this, because life will start to open up for you again, particularly if you have been treading water in life, you felt stuck and stagnant, and maybe on some level it's been an invitation all along for you to dive in deep within inside of yourself and do the beautiful healing work that's going to help you move and progress forward on your timeline. So I hope this conversation has given you something to consider and maybe employ into your life. It's not something that, you'll be doing every single day, but however, you'll get a feeling, you will get a knowing when it's time to kick back, do the inner work, reflect, and allow that healing to progress and flow through you. You will know. Just observe your emotions in your heart. You'll know when you feel overtired and frustrated. You will know. It's time to not ignore those signs and move into this valuable state of healing and pay this beautiful experience forward into your life, because you will benefit from doing it. How is everybody doing? I hope you're enjoying this month of November so far. For me personally, it has been non-stop, go, go, go. And one of the highlights so far of this month has been that I was invited to be involved in 3 TV shows. And it was an amazing experience. And I was invited down to Somerset in England, there, the west side of England, southern west. And I was on a 4-day shoot. And for me, this was an amazing adventure. Very, very tiring. Being dialed into spirit and vibration and energy for long periods of time, and going through long periods of time without eating, surviving on water and pure adrenaline, and also a lack of sleep as well. It was an amazing experience working with this professional film crew. They were absolute beautiful people, and they were gracious hosts. They made us all feel very welcome, very comfortable. And so it was an amazing experience, and we got to go to quite a few different locations whilst we was down there. All varying episodes were different in subject matters. So I don't want to go too much into that, but what I will say is that you're all in for an absolute treat when you watch these. The guys who produce and record and film this are professionals, and some of their previous work, honestly, it looks like a Hollywood film. So I'm so excited to be involved in this project and to be invited to be there. It was an incredible experience. We did have to battle the weather, English weather, rain 1 minute, dry the next, windy the next. And so we only had, I think it was 4 days to shoot all the episodes, and we had to navigate around the weather in order to get the shots and the sound and the content that we needed. But we managed to do that. And like I say, it was incredible. I think one of the longest shoots we did, we worked an 18-hour day, and that was mental. I say a day because it went off into 2 days, if you know what I mean. And basically, we filmed one shoot. We finished filming that shoot. Then we went over to another location Obviously, you've got to set up all of the equipment, the lighting, the sound, and all the rigging, and make sure everything's right before you can begin to film. So you've got to bear that in mind with each shoot. And we managed to finish that shoot. I think it was 1 a.m. The following morning. And of course, we were all concerned about the time restraints that we had in order to get the rest of the footage that we needed. So we were faced with a decision to make. And one of those decisions was we either go to get some rest, to go to bed for a couple of hours, or we can soldier on, get the content we need, and then come back, get the rest, get the sleep that we need. And that's what we did. So literally, I'll explain I won't tell you the episode, but we went to Glastonbury Tor at 2 a.m. in the morning, pitch black, torrential rain, hiking up Glastonbury Tor with all of this film equipment. And then obviously you've got to set that equipment up there. You've got to do the lighting, the sound and everything like that. So we was up there, and I think we got back to our digs accommodation about 6 a.m. that same morning. And upon coming back, we then went, obviously got our sleep, managed to get about 3.5 hours sleep. And then we got the call that we needed to get ready because we were going to shoot the final segment for one of the episodes. And so that's what we did. Again, we was firing on adrenaline, just picking up bits of food and drink where we could. And we went to the final shoot, and we was there. I think we got back from that shoot. What was it? I think we set off about 11 and we got back about 7 p.m. in the evening. So very lengthy process, but I'm excited to be a part of it. And I'm also excited for seeing it when it does come out. And I will let you all know about that in due course when it has been fully produced. So yeah, amazing episodes. Felt very privileged to be part of that. So after doing that, it's taken me a good week or so to actually get my bearings and get myself grounded again and, get back into the routine, because it was quite a high doing that level of work. Like I say, living on your adrenaline, working with spirit on such an intimate level for such a long period of time with limited amount of rest. It was incredible, amazing. So yeah, I've been recovering from all of that. And even now, as I'm speaking to you, a few weeks on from doing that, I'm still feeling that energy, and I'm still feeling that I do need some more rest. I need a little bit more time out because it was so supercharged. The team, like I say, production team, were absolutely amazing, incredible people. My colleague who I work with, who invited me on the project, such a beautiful soul, worked tremendously hard, and she always comes up trumps with new ways of working and pushes the boundaries. So I felt very honored to be part of it and working with her, because she does push you out of your comfort zone when in regard to working with spirit and energy. So it was an amazing experience. And at a later stage, when we do get the release dates for these episodes, we're thinking about doing a radio episode, an episode on here and on my colleague's show as well, on her podcast. And we're going to talk about it in depth, about the experience and what we did and all of that. So just hang on in there. In the meantime, can I direct you to go and check out this beautiful project, like I say, that I'm involved with for these episodes, but they have got a previous season out and it is on YouTube. So go and check out The Supernatural UK on YouTube. Also, you can be a subscriber there, and you can find them on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, I believe. Amazing bunch of people. And just go and check them out. Their content is amazing. I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, we're now moving into the channel section this week's episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the channeling from Spirit. We are the collective known as Samson. We have come here to discuss the changing of the Earth environment. You will be needed to understand that preparation will be paramount. We recommend that you are open in your heart, and you will then be guided in order to move forward without fear or mass control. You are coming up to a great change in your vibration on the earth plane in the month of November, and you'll start to see big changes involving your lifestyle, and you will find that you will be coming together as communities. It will be the change that will start the process. You will also be aware that the frequencies in the atmosphere are changing, and there has been plans for some time by those on your earth plane, the leaders that have tried to block these frequencies with their satellites and electronic manipulation of the frequencies and radio fields. However, none shall succeed, because we have a plan in which we are taking out those devices in order for our transmissions to come forward stronger and to switch the part of your consciousness back on so that you can receive these instructions to help you move in a direction beyond anything you have ever experienced in your incarnation. You will have experiences of ultra-dimensional beings communicating and interacting with you on energetic frequencies. You will experience a telepathy style of communication where you will have an understanding and a knowing of information before you need to put it into practice. You will also be tuning into higher vibrations of love and atonement. Deep swathes of information is going to be accessible to you all when you open your heart and release what is not necessary in your vibration, the old teachings, the old understandings of your planet. A lot have been manipulated in order to control and divert you from your truth. This period of time in November of 2025, you will see and experience truth energy coming into your energetic field, and we implore you not to react out of fear, because it is vastly different from everything you've ever known up until this point. We are keeping this message very plain and simple in order for you to connect, observe, and understand these changes.
You will go to where you are guided, as some of you will feel the inclination to go and visit locations in order for you to correct and amend the ley line vibrations that have been broken, disconnected, in order to control and disconnect you from the truth vibrations. All you will have to do is follow that intuition and go to the locations which you are being called to go to, and just allow yourself to be present. We will do the rest by working through your vibration, your physicality, in order to repair and reconnect these vibrations on the timelines. All you have to do is to be present and aware and trust your intuition. We wish you to know that the earth is changing, and you are here to witness the biggest show that earth has ever seen amongst its inhabitants. It will remain rather unusual for you, but we want to encourage you and reinstate the vibration of love on your planet, where you can create your very own version of heaven upon your earth plane. We bring this message with love and devotion, and we are a collective known as Samson, a collective of galactic beings that have come together to form a council of light workers and seeders of pure love into the planet. Our mission is to continue with these communications and give you information and high vibrational frequency downloads during each transmission. We ask those of you that are listening to this information, go back to it and listen and feel into the energy a second time. For there is vast amounts of ascension downloads and light codes in this transmission which we share with you today. Upon being receptive of these codes, you will begin to notice that things begin to change in your experience of planet Earth. Your hearing becomes louder, your vision becomes more expansive, and you will feel into situations ahead of them occurring. You will also begin to experience a sense of déjà vu, as you would call it, and the beginning of telepathy. Please use this transmission and listen and feel into the vibration as many times as you wish, as this will completely install these codes that we speak of. We leave you on this note of positivity by saying to you that we are all in the galaxy tremendously proud of every effort that you are doing in order to create this new heaven on earth vibration. Although it won't be a smooth ride, we have to get rid, or shall we say through you as vessels, you will have to get rid of the energy that no longer serves and deserves a place on your planet. And you do this by keeping yourself pure and a vessel of conscious love. We bid you farewell and great tidings. Thank you.
What an incredible transmission there from the world of spirit. Interesting to hear from that collective named Samson about the Earth's environment, and also they encourage us to open our heart up, as by doing that we're going to receive a lot of downloads and information given to help us move forward. Interesting to hear about November of this year of 2025 will bring in great changes, and hearing about communities coming together. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's quite a blessing really, because there's a lot of us that are going through, shall we say, experiences, collective experiences, and it's nice to know by coming together in communities, we're going to rise up and move beyond these so-called perceptions. Also, new frequencies will be coming in this month. That's interesting to hear. I don't know about anybody else, but I personally have been experiencing a lot of ringing in the ears, and the vision, the eyesight has been also changing in and out, dropping in and out of focus, and I'm perfectly fine and perfectly fit and well. And I usually get an inclination when this is universal energy interacting with us. And I've known quite a few people that have also had a few encounters where their ears have been ringing as well, particularly more so this month. Also, what I enjoyed about this is experiences of us seeing or being aware of different beings coming in from different dimensions. Personally, I haven't seen any as yet, but I am aware there's a vast amount of changes occurring, and there's something amiss. You know, there's like a calm before the storm, so to speak. I'm feeling that type of vibe, so it would not surprise me. So it was nice to have the heads up on that from the collective of Samson. And interesting, they should speak about the beginning stages of telepathy coming back to us. Now, it has been said many, many times that we've all got this gift of telepathy, and that throughout generation upon generation, this gift, shall we call it, has been dimmed, so that we're no longer using it or familiarizing ourselves with this technique. So I was pleasantly surprised to hear that that is coming back, because I feel as though that's going to help a lot in regard communication and getting that clear, true vibrations coming through. Also, what I liked about that, speaking of truth, is that we're going to notice and see the truth vibrations coming in this month, where this could be globally, collectively, even in your own family or friendship circles. We'll just have a knowing, we'll have a feeling. You won't be able to hide the truth energy anymore. It's going to come to the surface. So again, it was nice to have that heads up there from the collective. So I'm very, very grateful for their coming forward with that information. But next we're going to move into the forecast reading, which is a sneaky peek into this week's forecast reading. So if you're wanting to take a few notes, please do so and enjoy this week's snippet of a forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 17th of November 2025. Now, those of you that watch me before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So I'm going to shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. So here is your card for this week's reading. I'm now going to link into that. First of all, I'm hearing the word very strongly, resilience. Keep pushing forward. This week, you're going to have some major breakthroughs in your life. And I know a lot of you watching this have been finding that you've had your nose to the grindstone for quite some time now, and you're just wanting a break. You're wanting some sort of breakthrough in your life. This week, we'll see the start of that process occurring, albeit incremental steps, but I feel as though opportunities will be coming your way. Rather than procrastinating it and overanalyzing these opportunities, you need to say yes and let the chips land and let everything slot into place. That way, your abundance will come to you rather than you working hard and chasing it. So do watch out for that. Rest whilst you can is what I'm being told to tell you. Even if it's for 30 minutes, if you can switch your mind off and have that recuperation, it's going to be beneficial to you in the long run. This is the end of the free version of the weekly forecast reading. If you would like to see the entirety of this week's forecast reading, then you can do that by subscribing. And as a subscriber, what you will receive is the full version of the weekly forecast reading. You will also receive the audio for the weekly radio show, and also you'll receive 10% off all of my spiritual services there. So this includes all of the readings there for you to benefit from. And also you will receive new updates and information and news of what's happening with myself and the services that I provide, and also the events that I take part in. You'll hear all about that ahead of everybody else. And this is because you're a subscriber to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. So you can find a link either above or below this video, where by clicking on the link, you can then become a subscriber to reap all of the benefits that I've described to you. So I look forward to having you on this journey with me as a Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium subscriber. Thank you for taking time to watch this video and supporting the work that Spirit and myself work together in doing so. Wow. Albeit brief, I hope you got some information from the weekly forecast reading, and it is kind of suggesting and helping you in some way, shape or form. Again, as the advert would suggest, if you're wanting to hear the full version of that, then you can go and click on the link either above or below this radio episode to be a subscriber. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode as much as my guides and myself have presenting it forward to you. And I hope that you've found some value in the content that we've brought forward for you today. Also, can I say as well, I'm very excited because I've been invited today to go and do an inspirational talk, and I'll be doing this today at 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time through till 7:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and this is in Mansfield in the United Kingdom at a shop called Inspirations. So if you're out and about and you're in the area and you're wanting to come and meet me face to face and listen to this inspirational talk, then it would be absolutely incredible to see you there and meet you in person and shoot the breeze with you as well. Also, can I suggest, if you have any queries regarding the paranormal, self-help or anything spiritual, and you've got any questions on that, then please do go over to my website and contact me there on www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. And as ever, it would be absolutely incredible to hear from you and also to get your feedback on the show as well. Can I also do a massive plug as well? Anybody that is wanting to progress and develop their sensitivity and their spiritual gifts and abilities, I also run a Wednesday evening online development class. This starts at 7:30 p.m. through till 9:30 p.m. and it takes place over a private Zoom link for the cost of £10. There's some amazing students that are already in attendance from all over the world, so you're going to meet some like-minded souls. And if you are interested in that, you can send me a message to either my website, you can email me on my website, or just head over to my Facebook page, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium, and you can message me directly there to reserve your place in the Wednesday evening's class. In the meantime, everybody, have a fabulous week, and I look forward to your company, same time, same place, next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice spiritual medium.